All right. One love, sing it with me. One heart, let's get together and feel alright. Jamaican diaspora, one love, I can hear you. Sing it, let's get together and feel alright. The words of the legendary Bob Marley are the perfect prelude to our next session. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. This session will offer a comprehensive update on key initiatives vital to diaspora engagement and collaboration. The plan of action for the implementation of the National Diaspora Policy, outlining strategic steps to foster deeper diaspora involvement in Jamaica's development journey. Can we get a yes? My people, my people, my people, I'm Empress Golding, and a very special welcome to each and every one of you online across the world. Please give a warm welcome now to our moderator, my friend of many years. My goodness, we go way back, and I'm gone foreign. Big CG foreign, I'm still there. But we still at work together. Our moderator, Mr. Oliver Mayer, Consul General for Jamaica, Miami. What do they call Miami? Kingston. What do they call it? Jamaica. It have a code. What do you call it? Kingston 20. 21. Yes. That's right. So he's from Kingston 21. And he is going to introduce our distinguished panelists. And I have to firstly acknowledge the Honorable Orlando Terrelong, our Minister of State and the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Make some noise. I have to hand it over to him, but I'm very good friends with Nathaniel. We've known each other for years. He used to help me out with Maxwell Park Children's Home when I was a chair for 5 years. He would bring fans and all kind of stuff, big him up. And Shauna Chin, my girl from Wynn, over in California doing big things. And I'm the youth girl, you know, I love the youth. I have a program called Talk Up Youth, so I'm just loving Asha. But moderator, over to you.
Wow. Let's give it up for Empress. Ladies and gentlemen, you may not have heard, but I've been training Empress for years. And I'm so proud of her. And I'm so proud of each of you here in this room. You have taken the time to be here at the Diaspora Conference. And I just want to say, big up yourself. We love you. I want you to turn to the person beside you and say, big up yourself. Now the people at the back, we just sang about one love. And unlike my domino friend that I plan to give her 6 love, we need you to come closer for the one love. So those at the back, I want you to come forward for this conversation, all right? So allow the Spirit to move you. Allow the Spirit to move you forward. It's calling you, my brothers and sisters. Come forward. Today we're going to have a conversation around strengthening and sustaining diaspora engagement. This will be a comprehensive update on key initiatives vital to diaspora engagement and collaboration. And let me just first start by telling you, as you heard, I'm the Consul General of Jamaica, based in Miami, with responsibility for the southern United States. We cover 13 states, Florida, Georgia, Texas, North and South Carolina. We go as far west as Arizona. And we do a lot of engagement in all the different missions, the 20 missions, through our honorary consul network of over 85 individuals. But there is a structure of which we are particularly pleased. It's our Global Jamaica Diaspora Council and our Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council. And we are also proud of our Minister of State in Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. So I'm going to introduce them individually and ask them to give a quick opening statement of why diaspora engagement is so important, starting first with our Minister, Alando Terrelon.
Thank you so much, CG, who now sits as our moderator. You know, again, first of all, let me once more welcome every single one of you to our 10th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference. It truly has been a historic and memorable conference. I've had so many persons coming to me and saying, you know, Minister, it's the first time I'm coming. I remember when you were in the UK telling us about the conference and the programs and the many different reasons to come. When you were in Florida and telling us to come, and New York and so forth. And we're really seeing the result of a strategic goal of the government, which is diaspora engagement. You know, so oftentimes we hear, you know, some persons, you know, saying that, oh, there is not enough being done and there's no engagement. 1,200 registered attendees gives testament to the fact that the government has a concerted approach, as is evidenced by our strategic development plan, which lists our national diaspora policy as a part of that. As a government, we recognize that Jamaica's continued growth and development also rests with the diaspora, your contribution to national growth and development. And when we speak about contribution, it's not about sending barrels back home to your family or sending your remittances, which play a major part in our GDP, you know, but also thought leaders and industry players who give back in terms of their expertise and collaboration. And that's the whole spirit of this two-pronged mechanism that we have in place for diaspora engagement. So there's a Global Jamaica Diaspora Council and there's the Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council, and members from both councils are seated to my left, and they form a key part of the strategic engagement to connect, engage, and also to empower our diaspora members wherever they are across the world. So Consular Mayor, for example, he sits as Consular General. We have our ambassadors, we have our high commissions, and we have all the staff members. We have honorary consuls as well. So we have also broadened an advisory sort of board that has now morphed from 8 persons to now 30 persons across the globe. So prior to 2016, diaspora engagement in Jamaica was seen as only the traditional areas. We talk about Canada, North America, well, the United States and Canada, and we talk about the United Kingdom. But we have now broadened an 8-member advisory board to now a global council. We have council reps from Australia, Africa, the Middle East, Western Europe, and across the world, the Caribbean, Latin America, and of course in our traditional areas. So it's a broadened scope because as a government we recognize that Jamaicans are everywhere. So everywhere you go, each and every single one of you, you are also brand Jamaica. You are also ambassadors of Jamaica. And as a government, we have recognized that it is important that we get representations from you where you are in your respective parts of the world, and also to get your involvement and ensure that we have an honorary system of honorary consuls in place to also provide services for you. So again, a strategic part of national goal and development, diaspora engagement, and I can't thank you all enough for what you continue to do to enhance Jamaica's growth and development.
Thank you very much, Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, a month ago, I would have had to have said, welcome, Miss Shauna Chin. But now I have to say, welcome, Dr. Shauna Chin. She's the vice chair of our Global Jamaica Diaspora Council. And, you know, I was on an interview panel with her just last night, and you can feel the passion oozing out of her commitment to Jamaica and Jamaicans and to our diaspora movement. And Dr. Chin, welcome to the panel. I love the gold representing. And tell us your assessment of the council. What has been the work? We hear about the structures from the minister. He said, he's articulated so well. We have these two nice big structures. But tell us about the work and how effective it has been so far. Some of the initiatives as well.
Thank you for that question. I get so excited when I talk about my team because they do such amazing things. Like my chair, the Honorable Minister Terry Long said, we have deepened the relationship across the globe. So we have Dr. Larty, who is in Australia. She is the representative for Europe. They recently had their regional conference. The minister was in attendance. And so one of the things that they have done is in a region such as that, they have deepened the engagement there. We have so many exciting things coming out of Europe. We also have Mr. David Jarrett. Thank you. We have Mr. David Jarrett, who is out of Africa. They kicked off their regional conference first. And so Africa being a huge continent, one of the difficult things is trying to get persons from all those countries to come together to give back to Jamaica. And so Mr. David Jarrett is able to be in that region, strengthening that relationship. We have also in the Middle East, Mr. Lennox Christie. He's over there in the UAE, and I'm telling you, you'd be surprised as far as the Middle East, we have Jamaicans there. We're everywhere, do you know? And so being able to see that we have in Latin America, one of the things our representative there has been able to do is identify that sugar, Jamaican sugar, is not present there, and she's identified a market there. So we have all the regional conferences are on deck to start launching, and Latin America is on deck for the next regional conference. And one of the things is trade and investment. So we were able to see our agriculture minister yesterday to make sure that he's going to be present at that conference. And so we can talk about getting trade with that region to encourage trade and investment. And that's what the council is about. It's about finding key persons in these regions to be able to deepen the engagement, not just with Jamaicans there, but also strengthen trade. There are things that we may not have recognized before, and now we have been able to identify further ways that we can broaden brand Jamaica.
Excellent, excellent. So what I'm hearing is that it has been broadened, the council has been broadened to have a greater footprints to ensure that we are connecting with our diaspora and our Jamaican diasporans all over the world. And opportunities have come up as a result of the new structure.
Absolutely.
And, you know, in reading the diaspora policy, one of the key words I keep hearing, there are 9 guiding principles. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have not read the policy, take some time. It's available on the website. It's about 84 pages. And the reason why I can't quote it is because I just read it again last night. Right? But let me tell you, it is great reading. And some of the guiding principles involve participation, partnership, consensus, working together. And that's what I'm hearing coming forward and deepening the engagement. So prior, we were traditionally in UK, United States and Canada, and now we have expanded. And the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council consists of how many persons now?
There are a total of 30.
30.
Well, we have a secretariat as well. I must big up my secretariat team. We talk a lot about the council members, but we have a large support from the Department of Diaspora Affairs, headed by our director, Mr. Lloyd Wilkes. When I say them work, CG, them work.
They work. Excellent.
Believe me. And the gentleman sitting to my right works us very hard.
Excellent. Excellent.
So I'm very proud of the Secretariat. They provide such support to us and help us in deepening our role and being able to facilitate our role. So I really want to be able to thank them as well.
Excellent. And ladies and gentlemen, how many persons, just by a show of hands, have enjoyed the conference so far? Just by a show of hands. Excellent, excellent. One person not paying attention on his phone didn't raise his hand, but everybody else did. And let me make the point that every section of this conference, a member of the diaspora has been key in organizing and ensuring that it functions well. So let's give it up for diasporans. If you were here yesterday, you would have noticed a lady walking around with the flag on her lips. And everybody was asking her, how you get the flag on your lips? And she directed all of us to her website and her tutorial. But this lady is more than just walking around and showing her different products. She's one of our leaders. She's a leader of the Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council. And it's Miss Asha Richards, and a dynamic leader from the Northeast. Asha, welcome to the panel.
Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need more young people in the diaspora. You agree? Young people like myself, right? We need more young people. And Asha, you represent the Youth Council. What is the Youth Council doing to attract more young persons like myself to come in the mix?
Well, first of all, thank you all for coming to the session and learning more about how we can better assist you and to engage you. And I know from a Youth Council perspective, one of the things that I have really been pushing, and we have been trying to push in this new iteration of the Youth Council, is making sure to reach youth where they are. Because unfortunately, a lot of them are not necessarily plugged into the traditional channels such as the embassy mailing lists or, the government website. They don't check them regularly, but where they are is social media. They are heavily on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter. So one thing that we have tried to do is to increase our social media engagement. Actually, at the beginning of the year, we had done a bunch of promos on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and Twitter, introducing, hey, this is the GJDYC, come and meet your reps. And we were able to get a couple of new members through that. And also through the Innovation Challenge, pushing the Innovation Challenge, which I hope some of you were able to catch yesterday to see the presentation of the winners. But engaging with youth, and not just youth in our regions, but trying to make it broad. Reaching youth where they are, reaching out to different social media houses. I make content myself, as CG Mayor had mentioned with the flag makeup, but definitely increasing our social media presence, and also just trying to create a level of community, because a lot of times when it comes to diaspora events, as you'll notice, you'll see a lot of the same faces, and generally they tend to be older. And one of the things is that a lot of young people know this. That's not really my scene. I don't think there's gonna be anybody my age there anyway. So if we're able to, as a youth council, have that community, one, we have our global chat, so you can talk to youth from in Jamaica and around the world, but also just saying, hey, this is happening at the embassy, or this is happening at the High Commission. I'm going to be there. You guys want to come? You guys should come. Encouraging young people to come and realizing that there are young people also there for them to talk to and network with. So that is extremely important.
Thank you very much, Asha. You sound good, Yeah? Yeah. Let's give it up for Asha. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday was a certain gentleman who was not able to find his car key. I will not call his name to embarrass him. But welcome to the panel, Mr. Nathaniel Pete. You are one of our leaders in the community. You are a member of our Global Jamaica Diaspora Council based in UK. You have been on the ground for a while. In fact, I understand, reliably informed, that you're able to bring a large group here to the conference. Not as large as Florida, but you're able to bring a kidding, right? But you've been on the ground for a while. What are some of the strategies that you have been using in UK to mobilize and strengthen the diaspora?
Thank you very much, CG. And, just paying honor to the Honorable Minister, who has really just got the traction around the diaspora regions. I don't think I've seen a minister as busy as this minister. Can you please give him a round of applause, please? You've seen him in so many regions. And I'm telling you something, that this council is different than any other advisory board that we've had. I mean, I've been on the ground since 2009 where we did the Future Leaders Conference. In fact, there's some future leaders in the audience right now that I can see. And this movement really began because of our interest in the social projects. Now, part of our engagement strategy has been by building a database. So we launched an organization from the future leaders known as Jamaicans Inspired. And this was where we're looking at professionals that are inspired Jamaicans that could join an organization that is promoting brand Jamaica. People want to find out in the diaspora, where can they buy Grace products? People want to know where they can get a Jamaican contact, for business. And so within this network that we've created, we have helped to facilitate conversations with lawyers and those people that have understanding of land. We have facilitated conversations with VM if they want to buy a product. And this type of engagement has happened through the organization. On average, we have about 3 people that sign up. One thing that we found is that people want benefits when they come to Jamaica. If I went to Jamaica and I spoke like this, and I went down like the road and I basically go to one of the attractions, and I'm speaking with my British accent, the price is immediately going to go up. And so the diaspora needs a discount. Would you agree? So what we said is, all right, let us work with existing enterprises in Jamaica, whereby when Enterprise came here, we said, can we get a discount code for our members? And they gave us a 15% discount. When we're speaking of the boutique hotels, can we get a discount for those boutique hotels which are often owned by Jamaicans and drive diaspora traffic down there? Yes, we can. And so through that network, we have built out a framework. In addition to that, music is a very key area of the diaspora. If they don't connect through family or remittances, they're going to connect through the music. Would you agree? When they connect through music, they bring their friends. Reggae music, dancehall is a big thing in diaspora regions. So you have initiatives such as Brit Jam, which has been a very key area of cultural type of tourism. The founder of Brit Jam, Corey Hyde, is here, and there has been other initiatives that have birthed from Gen Z, such as Reconnect JA, which is looking at where young people can come and travel to Jamaica, where a young Jamaican is now doing travel benefits and opening those opportunities. The other area of engagement has been through philanthropic giving. So we've done several programs working in partnership with the Jamaica Diaspora Institute, that's with Professor Neville Ying, whereby we have done programs with youth in orphanages. Yeah. In addition to that, working with the JCDC with the festival song competition and having a local diaspora festival song. So these are several initiatives that we've done in diaspora engagements in the United Kingdom.
Yeah. By the way, thank you very much for that, Pete. Let's give Pete a round of applause. Now, I should have told the panelists before that anytime you see me do this, just we wrap up, right? Any year. I'm not looking at any year directly, right? We're just going to wrap up because what we want to do, we want to facilitate as much questions as possible, right? So if you see me do this, in the audience, I want you to do this with me too. Try this with me, all right? So we're going to make everybody just wrap up if they go too long, all right? Okay. And when you go to the mic to ask your questions, we're going to ask you, not yet Sir Bruce, but we'll see your position nicely. We're going to ask you to remember the word kiss. Keep it simple. And then the last S is, and then sit down. And then the other S is short, all right? So keep it simple and short. We don't want a speech. We just want it quick. Ask a question and sit down. All right. All right. So, Minister, all right. So we have had the diaspora movement, we had a symposium in 2003. Then one of the action points was to start the whole diaspora movement. Started in 2004, and we're 20 years in. And what is your assessment of where we have come, and what is your vision, along with the ministry, of where we're going?
Thank you, Oliver. So again, in terms of the assessment as to where we've come, I think it's important you understand that we have a government that listens to the diaspora. We have a government that believes in inclusion, the inclusivity of the government. You would have heard me speak throughout the conference, excuse me, and the constant messaging is unity, no fragmentation. This is a government that believes in unity. So you would have seen, as I indicated earlier, over the last 20 years, a complete transformation of diaspora relations by listening to you, our global Jamaicans, and understanding that the diaspora is not just America. The diaspora is not just Florida, it's not just New York, it's not just London. So we have, yes, because let's be fair, oftentimes persons in Florida, they think, okay, well, because I have this point, yes, he's from Florida, they think because I have this point, I'm speaking for the entire diaspora, I'm speaking for the entire 3+ million Jamaicans who we estimate live abroad. So the government has put that concerted effort into Africa. You would have noted that members from the Jamaica-Ghana Chamber of Commerce are here. And again, this is to build ties in trading investment with Ghana. We have members coming from, the Netherlands, coming from France, coming from Germany, coming from Belgium, coming from South Africa. That, I would say, is a key feature of the diaspora movement's growth and development, certainly throughout the last 20 years, which we have capitalized on over the last 5 years or so. Going forward, we have the diaspora registration portal which Minister will be launching this afternoon. And again, this is to get an idea as to where you are located so that we can provide, whether it's consular services or other services, to match the needs, your growing needs. There's also the JamDem portal, which will also be launched today by Minister Johnson Smith. And again, these portals will enable you to have your direct access to trade and investment ideas. And in a post-cabinet meeting this morning, stemming from the discussions that we've been having here, an idea worth considering is, how do you make your funding work? We listened to Minister Green yesterday speak about the growth in agriculture and fisheries and the mining sector. You might not want to leave Belgium to open a farm in Jamaica, not leave in South Africa, or not leave in Florida or New York. But how do we now pool a sort of agricultural stock exchange together so you can invest in the agricultural industry and you can reap the 100% reward or the 50% dividends or the 30%, whatever it is, but how do you make your investments work for you? So again, important considerations to come out of this, because it's not just, in the past, person would say it's a talk shop. This has been anything but a talk shop. It has been real discussions, real solutions, with a government centered on listening to you and putting your ideas to purpose, to action. And that is the future of diaspora engagement as we envision it from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade.
Excellent. All right, well said, Minister. Let me ask you a question, Minister. Are you the boss of the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council? Are you the boss?
So again, within unity, there is no boss. What we have is a concerted working relationship. So one of the key words, again, listen, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, he's very clear in his discussions with Minister Johnson Smith, who is here. Can we get a round of applause for Minister Johnson Smith, who has joined us? In Prime Minister's discussions with Minister Johnson Smith and with myself, again, that spirit of engagement, and a very big word, partnership. Partnership is a key goal of the government in diaspora relations. So whilst I chair the committee, if there's any boss, really, Shauna is the real boss on the committee. But it's a partnership. It is government, it is the diaspora, it is private sector, it is sector leaders. We now have, again, in terms of how the diaspora policy has morphed over the last 4 years, we now have sector leaders. You would have seen Kevin, a phenomenal mind in terms of security management and global security, who is our sector leader, who has direct discussion with the Ministry of National Security. Dr. Colley, who is here, she's here with her family from France. She's our sector lead in education. She'll be launching her mentorship academy. We have sector leaders, Hugh Simmons, Dr. Simmons yesterday, a sector lead in the creative industry. So again, these are some of the ways in which we've changed. So it's a partnership. We work together, we listen, we share ideas, we share thoughts, and we keep it positive, recognizing that our aim is to ensure the continued growth and development of Jamaica for all Jamaicans, be they in the diaspora or be they at home in Jamaica.
Well said, Minister. And I deliberately asked you that because I know, for example, there's a set of TORs that govern the movement of both councils. And there's a lot of consultation that takes place. And again, I want to commend everybody here because every section of the conference has had a key diaspora member involved in ensuring the success. So the success of the conference belongs to all of us gathered here. Let's give all of us a big round of applause. I'm going to jump to Asha. I'm coming back to you, Dr. Chin. Why, as we attract our second, third, and fourth generation, why citizenship or becoming a Jamaican citizen so important?
Okay, so personally, I received my citizenship about 2 years ago. And thank you. And I think that it is important, one, because it makes doing business and investing in Jamaica much easier. I know for me, my mother had tried to add me to her bank account. Well, we did add me to her bank account with JN. But when you don't have citizenship and don't have a TRN, there are extra documentation and paperwork that is required. And I'm sure that's similar for other aspects. So if you want to, say, start a business in Jamaica, or you want to expand your business in Jamaica, or if you want to invest in Jamaica, having citizenship can help you with that. Furthermore, you can also now represent Jamaica in different avenues. Most recently, in April, I believe, I was able to represent Jamaica at the UN ECOSOC Youth Forum. And I wouldn't necessarily be able to do that in an official capacity without a Jamaican citizenship. But also, take the Olympics, for example. There are many sports that I'm sure many in the diaspora are very strong at. And you could go and represent Jamaica. You could be the next, well, not bobsled team. We've already done that. But, a sport that people wouldn't think, oh, there are Jamaicans that do that? Yes, in skateboarding, yes. We have Jamaicans doing a lot of things that can help push brand Jamaica. Furthermore, and I think probably most importantly, a lot of second, third, and fourth generation struggle with identity. And I know I struggled a bit with it growing up, I was never quite American enough to fully fit in, but at the same time, I go home. I kind of have the patois lock now, but, growing up, I had a bit of a twang. It's like, oh, you're a bogus Jamaican, man. So I think, especially for me, getting my citizenship was very personal because once I have that citizenship, I am Jamaican and nobody can take that from me. So if you leave with anything else...
Yeah, man.
If you leave with anything else, I would say get your citizenship.
So Asha, man, you can.
Yes. Get your citizenship, it's important.
Sorry, guys, sorry. Hold on, let me just finish it here, right here. All right, this part, good. All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Asha. Very good points. But I see the lines are moving and they're ready. Dr. Bruce, I see you're ready. Before you go, though, brother. Before you go there, man. Yeah, man, relax. You relax. All right. So, Dr. Chin. Persons listening in, many times we hear the comment, how can I get involved? We see you guys on social media, you're doing your thing, you're having your webinars, but how can persons listening get involved and play a greater role in joining the council, whether the council or the youth council?
Excellent question. So one of the things that I've been championing, I am also the elected member for the US West and Midwest region. And one of the things I've been championing in that region is having persons join the mailing list of the head of missions. So the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council members are not intended to be independent in our role. Our role is a supportive role to the heads of missions. So yourself, CG, our US South Representative, Mr. Peter Gracie, is supportive of your office. And so one of the things that I do, Ambassador Marks is the head of mission for the US West and Midwest. And so for that region, one of the things I do is drive persons to the head of mission website, which is embassyofjamaica.org, because we have our CRO in the building. I saw him earlier, Mr. Emil Wallace-Waddle. Excellent at community relations. He sends out information not just on what is happening on the council, but what is also happening in the region. So persons are able to send in to the mailing list of the embassy what is happening in their organization, what events they're having, so that more people can be involved and engaged. Our Ambassador Marks, every month she has an engagement for the diaspora called Let's Connect. And so she routinely sends out Zoom links where she's inviting the community to come to speak to her. She has invited guests, which are usually ministers, who is able to, or the leaders who are able to speak directly to concerns that we have in the diaspora. And believe me, in the US, we have burning questions. And so she's able to answer those hard-hitting questions. And so my goal has been to say to the diaspora, the difficulty that we have with trying to have continuity, when we say one thing to one person, we have foreign service officers who they change routinely. We also have an environment where democracy changes sometimes and leadership changes, but what stays consistent is the head of mission website. That never changes. Embassyofjamaica.org is consistent. So persons, if they want to be truly engaged in the diaspora, they can then come, instead of coming to my personal website. I'm an actress. If you come to my website, you're going to see everything about entertainment, right? Yeah. Some things about diaspora engagement, but primarily it's about me. So no, you want to go to the head of mission website to be able to you want to go to the head of mission websites so that way you can be truly engaged for longevity, and we can build the databases of the mission so that way we build on diaspora engagement continually. And so that's how diasporans can get involved.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chin.
I'm sorry, Oliver,
yes.
Ministerial privilege here,
yes.
but just also to indicate that diasporans, you know, there was a panel, Minister Johnson Smith was on a panel yesterday, I believe it was, and there was the president of the Florida Women of Jamaica Association, you know, and so members in the diaspora, you also have, you know, that responsibility, or you can create your own associations in your respective spheres. So you could have an association created in LA.
We have
Texas.
multiple.
You can create an association in Ghana, in Jamaica, in Ghana or Nigeria, because they're so close to home. But when you create these associations, it could be whether based along the lines of your old high school or an old church or an old community or a particular civic group that you're a part of. And then you now register these associations, or let the consulates or the honorary consul's office, let them know about these associations so that you and your members can also be on the official mailing list, and that you can invite, you know, whether it's an honorary consul in one of our non-traditional areas, or the honorary consul in certain specific areas, or the ambassadors or high commissioners and so forth, or even representatives of the government as well, you know, so that we can now reach out even further. So these are some of the opportunities and avenues to strengthen diaspora engagement. So to start up Fathers Association for something, or Mothers Association, or a Campion College here, or a Clarendon College there, and so forth, so that we can get that engagement strengthened even further.
Excellent point. And I just want to reinforce that point. I mean, in some regions we have over 150 existing groups, especially alumni associations that persons can associate themselves with. So you can get involved. As of today, the Jamaica Women of Florida just recently assisted with some two big stranded groups in Florida of 20 persons each, 2 schools of kids between age 6 to 12, and the entire DAS groups came together and ensured that they had hotel rooms, airline tickets, and they were well taken care of for 3 days because there were heavy rains in Florida. This is a quick example. So big up women of Florida. All right. So, Mr. Pete, you have been in the seat for a while. You have been in the diaspora. Give us one memorable experience that you have had, showing the magic of the diaspora working together.
Probably a memorable item is when we did the partnership with the JCDC. Can I share two? All right. In 2014, I had a young man that came to me. He was diving for Britain. And Britain said he would not ever dive in the Olympics, diving with the top guys in Britain. There wasn't a diving team in Jamaica at the time, just a swimming team. And because of the connection to our organization, we connected him directly to swimming. He now is about to compete in his third Olympics. Nice. Impact. That's one memorable one, which I can say. There's another one within music. Again, this is the JCDC partnership, whereby a lot of music, a lot of concentration in the United Kingdom is in the South. Yeah. And we ran this competition, Jamming Voice of Jamaica. And we had someone from Sheffield. Yeah. She came to Jamaica and had that trip of a lifetime performing on the big stage, on the festival stages here in Jamaica. And again, that was another impact measurement that we could say. These are memorable points for me in terms of just those individual impacts, but then also the philanthropic support of mobile blood units and ambulances and various other things.
Thank you very much, Nathaniel. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we will wrap up this session just a little earlier to facilitate the Governor General Awards. And so I will take moderator privilege to facilitate that. And so I'm going to move now to questions. Bruce Barkley, I must commend you, sir. You have been waiting a long time.
Sir, good morning. I'll be very brief.
All right.
I've been warned. Minister, I'd really like to make a special request, and I would like it to be recorded that the Consul General Mayor remain in Florida indefinitely. He has been working to transform the region, and we have seen the fruits of his labor. Please let him stay permanently. Quickly, one, CG, you did a wonderful job for the reggae girls when they came through en route to Paris. Can you do the same for the Olympic team? Set up a training camp at Miramar Complex so we can meet and greet. Two, can we follow up on the Diaspora Games concept you developed and we spoke about pre-COVID, which is to have high schools and champs type thing in Florida. Bring them up so we can enjoy them on American soil. That's the Diaspora Games, an annual event. And finally...
All right, Bruce, all right, 1 second now, 1 second. As a moderator now, although I never set out all the rules, and I thank you very much for your kind words, my brother. I'm going to pass it on to the CG. I mean, the moderator had today, right? I won't tell CG me what to say. But listen, thank you very much. I'm going to ask everybody to limit it to 2 questions. Most. One question each. All right? Dr. Brown is saying one question each, because what we want to do is get as much participation as possible. All right? Thank you very much. And we're going to take the questions. The first set, Dr. Brown. All right, we go over here. Lady in orange. Welcome. Could you just tell us your name and where you're from, please?
Harold called me up from the United Kingdom. Now, I just come from Customs and Excise. I was trying to find out what are the rights of a return resident. Only to be informed that returning residency only applies to people born in Jamaica. My father left here
All right. So we're going to take the first 4 questions and then have a response. All right? So we got the first 2. Thank you very much for your question. I know we're back to the left side.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Roxanne Smigel, and my question is, in line with Jamaica's 2030 vision to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business, what steps are being taken to harness the skills and expertise of the diaspora in the sectors critical to Jamaica's economic growth, such as technology, healthcare, or education?
Thank you, Ms. Michael. All right. Hold it there. So, Shauna, you're going to take that question. Minister, you'll take the rights before. All right. We go back to our right. Just tell us as loud as you can your name and where you're from.
Good evening, thank you. I am Gary Rule, I'm Dr. Rule. I am Sworn Minister and I am the Health Sector Representative to the Global Jamaica Diaspora. I love the fact that we have this session. I'm really excited about being here, and I'll keep very simple. You said this, and I have another question or suggestion. So I have a philosophy called the rule of 3. My name is Rule R. H. Willie, but the rule of 3 says, don't overwhelm yourself with, when you change, don't overwhelm yourself with 3 things. 3 things daily. The first one I would suggest is, and I'm telling you why I'm saying this, 1 in 3 Jamaicans have high blood pressure, hypertension. Has diabetes. 4 in 10 in your lifetime will be affected by a mental health condition. So here are the 3 things. 1, similar to how we have a National Day of Prayer and a Diaspora Day of Service, I'm suggesting that we have a National Day of Health. We need a National Day of mental health. And every single sector that's represented should have a National Day on education, the climate, etc. Those 2 things. And the third thing I would suggest is that you said this, if you can't do a actual kiss, do a verbal kiss with your words. What do I mean? Specifically for high blood pressure, diabetes, and mental health conditions, your words make a difference in terms of people. So what we can do, even if you're not a CEO, or you're not a director, or you're not in a nonprofit, if you're just an average person, anywhere that you are, the power of your words, when you first interact with that person, just to give them a kind word, makes a difference. And you just
Thank you.
what I do today is Wednesday.
Thank you. All right. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much. And I know we're all enthusiastic and we all have some great input. And I love the National Day, but we want to keep it short and simple. And then we... All right. Okay. Let's respond to a few of the questions. All right. All right. Sir Bruce, we will talk about planning for the next sporting event. All right? You and I will speak about that. Thank you very much. Minister, you want to deal with the returning resident?
Sure. First of all, you know, your father certainly is a legend. He's a giant on which the entire development of post-war United Kingdom stands. So a big round of applause to her father and all the Windrush generations who truly, I mean, they left Jamaica, I believe it was 1948 was when the first ship left, and to go to the UK and just to develop the country post the war destruction, World War II. What I will say is that, so I've heard you in terms of the definition, that it was your father, you were born in the UK, you've now come here, and that they've indicated you're not, in terms of whether you're returning resident or not. What I will say is that we can discuss this further with both RGD and with PICA, and to see what sort of, what sort of concessions, what sort of change, what sort of amendments, or what considerations generally can be given. But that is a matter that we would certainly need to discuss with them, discuss with Cabinet as well. But I thank you for raising the issue and for bringing it to our attention, so that we can look to see how best a solution can be provided to returning residents who are not returning in the sense that they left and are returning, but these are now first and second generation Jamaicans who are moving to make Jamaica their new home. And I loved the analogy, especially because it connects us, to the motherland, to Mother Africa, about being, you're an elephant. And even though you were raised by lions, you are an elephant. And that is the spirit. That is the spirit of being Jamaica. Wherever in the world you are, whether you're second generation, third or fourth generation, you are Jamaican. We do have the birthright program. Which again, it's a program that was launched by the Grace Kennedy. They do get partnership from us at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. The Birthright Scholars. So each year they take students from the UK, from Canada, and also from America. And young professionals who are doing amazing things, second, third, fourth generation Jamaicans. They have a courtesy call with the Most Honorable Prime Minister Andrew Holness next week. They have met, the previous batch met with myself and Minister Johnson Smith as well. And we have a member, Samaya, out of Canada, who was a birthright scholar. I met her, I found her energetic, and she now sits on the Youth Council, so again, giving back to Jamaica as well. So those are considerations that we do have in terms of engaging next generations, because again, whether you were born in the US or born in Nigeria, once you have Jamaican grandparents or parents, you are in fact Jamaican. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Vision 2030. Shauna, there was a question on that.
Yes, Ms. Smickle, thank you for that question. Outside of talking about my team, and I get so excited about talking about them and how amazing they are, I think this question is probably the second most exciting for me to answer, because being at the table, being able to see what's happening, I get so excited to see how great Jamaica really is doing. Because when we're over in the diaspora, we hear everything, and we also think we can't really see the bigger picture. But when we're at the table and we're hearing how well Jamaica is doing, it's just incredible. So for her question, what she was talking about is the United Nations has the sustainable 23 Sustainable Development Goals. And of those goals, what Jamaica does is they have Jamaica Vision 2030. Every country has a Vision 2030. And so what Jamaica has done, the Planning Institute of Jamaica has crafted our Vision 2030, where we want to see Jamaica in the year 2030. And I will tell you now, if you big up on yourself, because Jamaica has achieved our own personal goals for Vision 2030. We're at over 90% for our own goals. Yes, on a clap. Yes, it's a clapping moment. Additionally, for within the region, because when you're talking about Vision 2030, because every country is achieving that goal. So we have benchmarks where we're looking at we're comparing ourselves to other regions. And within the region, Jamaica is leading because we're currently at 64.9%, I believe 65.9. 65. 65. 69.5.
69.5.
Listen, 69.5% achievement.
Thank you.
Leading the Caribbean.
Thank you.
That is really such an accomplishment for Jamaica, and these are the reasons I'm telling you I get so excited about being a part of moving Jamaica forward. And one of the main things I want the
Dr.
conference...
Chin, before you go there, so in the spirit of moving things forward, as you say, what I'm going to ask is that we move it forward quick with the question, and the answers I'm going to ask you to move forward. Quickly, faster, all right? I never look at your minister, but I'm including you too, right? Good. All right. So, back to the left. Please tell us your name and where you're from, sir.
Yes, good morning, everybody. My name is Tariq. I'm part of the Grace Kennedy Birthright Program, an amazing program. It's my pleasure.
I didn't hear. Can you repeat the last part of that question? I didn't hear.
How can you make sure that the diaspora exchanges resources with the community and doesn't harm it in the process?
And doesn't what?
Harm it in the process.
Harm it in the process. Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Mr. Monarch. Thank you for starting out
That's your question.
2003
Oh.
to which 2004
Do what you did last time.
framework to top conferences. No one on that panel was exception. We got to be very mindful that things that we say within our own truths. So I'm going to ask Ms. Chin to make a statement about where we were on 23rd, a report progress to Jamaica. The vast majority of individuals that are here at this conference are brand new. But there's a lot of legacy individuals that are present and understanding this and hearing what is being unearthed, and it doesn't go true. But I would ask, because people need to know where we are, what we have accomplished, what still needs to be finished. The other part that I would ask is through you, Junior Minister, to Minister Peter Johnson, which is Timothy LaRue, put back on the agenda for the next conference the gathering of each diaspora with their mission, so that real conversations about issues can be discussed with individuals who are passing their missions. They don't even know who are the best missions for the various countries. And do not leave Canada off, because it is us abroad in this world. Be very mindful. We might be pilots, but we'll follow.
Look about to Talawa. Thank you very much. Yeah, and just with the questions, I know some of our statements, and I want us to be very clear with the questions for our panelists to respond. Some of the questions, I'm still not 100% sure how to respond to them because I'm not hearing the question as clear as possible. So try to make it as clear going forward. All right. But thank you for your contribution. My friend, tell us your name and where you're from, my brother.
Based in South Africa, permanent resident in Zimbabwe. We of the living diaspora, we don't see ourselves as
I love that.
I'm representing also the Friends of Jamaica in Zimbabwe. We have an association just formed, and also the Jamaican and South African Friendship Association, which have been formed in South Africa. Also, I am part of the Jamaica, the Rastafari Continental Council, and the brand Jamaica is actually living diaspora on the continent where we have more than 5 million Rastafari families and individuals. So now we're looking at how we can, because we have a problem again dealing with government. As you don't know, the narrative is Babylon.
Them days gone. Go on.
Yes, like we said, them days gone, but it still linger. I'm trying, that is why I'm here now. Even being branded as CIA because I would come and sat with you. But still, it's bringing us together on these levels because in all aspects, the Rastafari community is working with also professional Jamaicans who have repatriated to Africa, not looking to really repatriate back to Jamaica. But still, families we have here, and we still need to recognize that fact. And investment, cultural exchange, all the bilateral agreements, on the ground, we need to have a better communication. So I would like to meet with Minister and each and every one as soon as possible.
Respect, my brother. One love. I love the living spore, I must tell you. Mr. Rose.
Yes, my name is Coach Ed Rose from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, originally. Living in South Florida for many years, and now living in Vancouver, Jamaica, married to a Jamaican, beautiful woman, for 40 years, 40 years. Tremendous talk about new beginnings, new initiatives, all the time. First one, I acknowledge and congratulate CG on May 17th this year, Al-Amir represented Jamaica in South Florida, the Major League Baseball, Miami Marlins, had him throw the ceremony of the first pitch, representing Jamaica. So I want to congratulate him on that.
Don't tell him how the pitch went though, please. Leave that part.
All right. National pitches. What initiatives are there or can be developed for building sporting field infrastructure for new sports like baseball? There are approximately 200 baseball players practicing on fields that are not inclusive here in Jamaica. To develop their skill set, the process to develop Jamaican baseball players so that they can vie for athletic scholarships abroad. So then people from around the world can say, I didn't know Jamaica plays baseball.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rose. All right. Let's get some quick responses. Let's start with investment. Minister, you want to take that one?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. While I try to recall the investment question, which you'll assist me with, I'll just go to some other questions that are, or statements that are still fresh in my mind. Again, to our Rastafarian brother coming from Zimbabwe, South Africa, blessed love to you. And again, the living spora.
Living spora.
It really, and for those of you who have done biology and what exactly a spora is, a living spora, it's so apt. So big up on yourselves, you are all our living spora, spreading across the world, expanding brand Jamaica. I absolutely love it. We do have our High Commissioner who is based in South Africa. We have another High Commissioner who is based in Nigeria. And again, we have honorary consuls again. And, so we do have a mechanism in place. And I will not say that it will reach everyone, but certainly it is an operational system that is in place. And it is going to be expanded, with other honorary consuls throughout different parts of Africa. And that is why it was important for us to indicate that we have the Jamaica-Ghana Chamber of Commerce, a delegation that is here because this government has recognized the importance of expanding trade relations across Africa and getting more Jamaicans involved. We have an honorary consul as far as Betty Del Foss is out in Tanzania, over there in Eastern Africa. So again, the engagement continues. Honorary consuls in Kenya as well. So that engagement will continue. So thank you for that. High Commissioner Corla Ban, could you stand for me, please? High Commissioner Corla Ban is here from Canada. High Commissioner Alexander Williams, could you stand for me, please? Is here from the United Kingdom. We have Ambassador Bettinaya, who's here from Western Europe. She's based in Brussels. Please, High Commissioner. We have CG Roach Wilson. CG Wilson, who is here from New York. CG, please stand. And others have been here throughout the conference. So what I want to indicate is that one of the sessions that we had this week was consular affairs, consular relations, and how we can further serve the diaspora. And that was a key panel discussion here with high commissioners, councillors, ministers with us on that panel, and it was to address some of the issues and concerns across the diaspora. For my part, we hit the ground running We met with our Canadians, recognizing the importance and the majesty of our Jamaicans living in Canada. We had conferences in Toronto, in Montreal, Quebec, as well as in Ottawa. So Canada, we love you. We do understand the role that you play, and that is why we continue with our engagement. And if there's anything else, CG Kurt Davis is also here, along with High Commissioner, to address the issues coming out of Canada that we can better assist with. And I believe I will stop there given the time so that Asha can answer her question. Moderator is telling us that.
I like where you take over. Go on, Minister. Go on, Asha.
Okay, so firstly, thank you for your question. In regards to helping with funding for baseball fields and different sporting arenas in Jamaica, I will say from a youth perspective, one thing that we encourage in our youth council is networking between Jamaican youth and diaspora youth, because a lot of diaspora might not know, especially the youth, might not know the realities of youth in Jamaica. And once we are made aware of those issues, such as the one that you brought up, what we can do as youth is advocate on behalf of youth in Jamaica. We can reach to our various high commissions, our CGs, our ambassadors, and reach out and see, okay, we've been hearing from our counterparts in Jamaica that they need new fields. What partnerships can we do with maybe some corporate sponsors in the US or in our locales to help youth? The Youth Council is not an entity that can fundraise, but we can advocate on behalf of youth in Jamaica to get some things moving forward. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you. All right, I see Ms. Food for the Poor at the podium to the left. Go ahead, Marsha. So tell us your name and what you do.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marsha Rose, Development Marketing Manager for Food for the Poor. Great to know that we are close to our goals of 2030, so we need everyone on board, including the poor. And so I'm here representing the poor. And Food for the Poor, we're celebrating 41 years in Jamaica, and we're 17 countries. And Food for the Poor started in Jamaica. My question is, how can we work with the diaspora? How can, there's so many times persons ask us, how can we give back? As the number one charity in Jamaica, and I would really say the Caribbean, we want to work close with the diaspora. We're all around in every parish, and we want to know how we can work with that, with you guys.
Thank you. All right, before I take the next question, as I mentioned before, we will wrap up this session a little early to facilitate the Governor General Awards. So some of these questions, we will have the offline discussion. We'll be here after to answer them directly, but we still want to give you an opportunity to voice them quickly. Just tell us your name, where you're from, and tell us the question, and we're going to go through them quick. Bam, 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 no long speech, just lick them. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Kyle Wright. I'm a second-year student and Vice President of the Caribbean Students Association of Carleton University. In my experience attending school overseas, there's a lot of young diaspora members that only identify with music, food, carnival, and a couple stories that they've heard from their parents. You know, there are barriers that exist for youth to get involved, right? And in my experience, at least, with the Diaspora Youth Council, and I say this carefully, that, you know, some of the leaders tend to be more older youth. And so, you know, for, you know, us who are first year, second year, whatever in university, it's hard to get connected to whichever organization or group in what.
Sir, I'm really sorry, but you're going to have to, is there a question? Because it's really out of time.
The question is, when will youth be given an actual seat at the table to help decide the Jamaica that we want to one day come back to?
All right.
Just to quickly state, Kyle, just to quickly state, I mean, you know, yesterday when I saw Kyle, I said, hey, Kyle, Canada. And he was like, whoa, you know, I didn't know you'd remember my face or even remember my name. Whoa, you know. So, Kyle, that is the kind of government you have. You have a government that recognizes in every space the youth. This is why youth empowerment is a part of the very theme here. This is why you are here, again, through funding and assistance from the High Commission's office, etc. This is why we have the Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council. So youth is already at the table. So my brother, take your seat. It is at the table. Not seat in the audience, seat at the table. Blessed love.
So ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to wrap up at this time to facilitate the Governor General Awards. All the questions at the podium, please write them down. We'll have an individual discussion with you. But at this time, I'd just like to congratulate our panelists, thank them for their contribution. Can we give them a round of applause? And I'm going to hand over to Empress.
Thank you so much, CG Mayor. Thank you so much, panelists. We're going to take a quick picture. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me real good. We know and we want your questions answered. It's a jam-packed conference, but don't you worry about a thing. We do have your email. We are going to get the questions and answer to everybody who came up. However, there is a Governor General's Award, which is happening in the lunchroom in Section B. We're going to have that award ceremony. Then we come back here for a special presentation, and then we go into the other 3 sessions in Block C, and then we come back here to Block D. So check your events page and your email to see the agenda. We don't want you to miss out on the opportunity to be in the room.